We all have people in our life that can be annoying at times. Even Doctor of the Church, Saint Therese, had this struggle, but she shared how she overcame it. She died at the young age of 24, so you can definitely apply her tips in your life. She is my favorite female saint, and her feast day is coming up this week. Her writings likely inspired thousands of people to grow in holiness, and later I'll be sharing something called the Saint Maker, which can also help you. When Thérèse first entered the convent, she was caring for Sister Saint Pierre, who was not an easy person to care for. For example, when Thérèse was supporting her while walking sometimes, she'd say, "You're going too fast. I'm going to break something." Then if Thérèse would slow down, she would say, "Well, come on. I don't feel your hand. You've let me go and I'm going to fall." I was right when I said you were too young to help me. Thérèse wrote this verbatim in her autobiography. Now that is pretty annoying, isn't it? And I'm sure we have people in our own lives that annoy us in different ways, but she shared how she overcame this. She said that it was a beautiful opportunity for exercising charity, remembering the words of Jesus, "Whatever you do to the least of my brothers, you do to me." When I read that, I was like, oh man, I know there have been people that I've been helping out and then they're upset. And I'm like, hey, I'm helping you out here. So definitely not perfect in this area, but she gives us an example to model after. And the good news behind all this was that she ended up winning over Sister St. Pierre because of the love that she showed. St. Therese said this: "She was very much touched by my attention, and it was by this means that I gained her entire good graces." And she later said, "When I was guiding Sister St. Pierre, I did it with so much love that I could not possibly have done better had I been guiding Jesus himself." That is quite an example, isn't it? So that's the goal, to love people as if we're loving Jesus. It's a challenge, but we can do it with God's grace. Another story that you may like, that I can definitely relate to, is this. St. Therese said, "There is in the community a sister who has the faculty of displeasing me in everything. In her ways, her words, her character, everything seems very disagreeable to me." I'm sure there's no one in your life like that, right? She continued, "Not wishing to give in to the natural antipathy I was experiencing, I told myself that charity must not consist in feelings, but in works. Then I set myself to do for the sister what I would do for the person I loved the most. Each time I met her, I prayed to God for her, offering him all her virtues and merits." So you have someone that's annoying you, that you just don't like for some reason and you don't even know what reason it is. You pray for them. And this is the amazing part. This sister came to St. Therese and said, "Would you tell me, Sister Therese of the child Jesus, what attracts you so much toward me? Every time you look at me, I see you smile." Isn't that amazing that this sister that was so repelling to her, she had prayed and tried to change her will, just to love as best she could. And this nun ended up thinking wow, you really like me, when deep down she initially really didn't like her. So that is amazing. And it's such a good thing that we might know what gifts other people have, but we pray for them and offer it to God, and God will do what he does. So I want to share one of my favorite quotes from St. Therese. And she said that a soul in the state of grace has nothing to fear from demons who are cowards. What she says there is so true, and we should all strive to always be in a state of grace. Now, how can you do this when life is so busy? There's a great resource called the Saint Maker. Can a personal planner really make you a saint? The truth is, many of us spend our lives running from distraction to distraction. And even for dedicated Catholics, our quest for sainthood often takes a back seat. The Saint Maker is the first high-performance planner for the spiritual life, made by faithful Catholics for faithful Catholics. Combining the practices of Catholic faithful throughout time with the science of personal productivity, the Saint Maker will help you grow in virtue and structure your spiritual life while getting organized and achieving ambitious goals. And that can help you become a saint. The Saint Maker is a beautiful, easy to carry, and well-crafted companion to your Missal, Bible, and Rosary. Published 4 times per year, each season includes daily planning pages, feast days, and devotions for both forms of the liturgical calendar, goal-setting pages, confession journals, and much more. There are lots of great Catholics using the Saint Maker, like Scott Williams, CEO of Sacrilegious, best-selling author Sam Guzman, YouTubers like Brian Holdsworth and Michael Lofton from Reason and Theology, and Dina Barca and Amber Schneider, and priests like Father Dean Marshall and Father Corey Stitcha. Try the Saint Maker out, and if you decide that it's not for you, you can send it back for a full refund within 90 days. Visit thesaintmaker.com to shop the planners. Quantities are limited, so head over to thesaintmaker.com to order yours and start your Saint Maker journey today. I'll be honest, it's been really difficult to grow in my spiritual life without having a plan. Exodus 90 was the first thing that introduced me to this, and the Saint Maker really takes it to the next level. And as I mentioned earlier, confession, that is super huge. We need to go to confession as often as we can. I would say at least once a month would be a minimum. It's so easy to get like bogged down in our sin when we don't actually reflect upon it. And when we go 6 months without our last confession, we can be like, oh, I did pretty good. Really confession is, like I've said in previous videos, it's like where you meet with your coach and they help you train. No athlete practices once every 6 months. They meet with their coach and their coach tells them how to improve. And confession is a great way for us to do that, to reflect on ourselves and see how we can become saints. So I can't tell you how many times I've been like, when was the last time we went to confession? And having a planner like this is a game changer for that. Now, what's so cool about the religious life in relation to a planner is their days are very structured. And I think that's something that us in our digital age, not having like planners and things like that. Yeah, we have our calendars on our phone and stuff, but our schedule can become so out of whack. So having something to document it is a game changer. And when talking about a game changer, today it's very easy to slander others. I think that's probably one of the greatest things, especially on YouTube, that can go on. And Saint Therese had a really amazing thing to say on that. She said, quote, "In order that this judgment," talking about her final judgment, "be favorable, or rather that I may not be judged at all, I want to be charitable in my thoughts towards others at all times." I can't tell you the difference that makes, especially in marriage. How many times is there like something that I'm like a little upset that Anne-Marie does, right? But what I've learned from Father Chad Ripperger, the awesome exorcist that's in the Eucharistic Miracles movie, amazing man, is that when you have a negative thought, especially in relation to someone else, try to get it out of your head as quick as possible, because the demons will use that to like make you think about it over and over again and really make something huge that maybe isn't that huge. So not to say we don't address things, but it's important to be charitable in your thoughts, because that changes everything. It really does. So Saint Therese being spot on again. The last thing she says here is in relation to being generous with others. She said, "Do good and lend, not hoping for anything in return, and your reward shall be great in heaven." She's quoting Jesus here. Oh yes, the reward is great, even on this earth. In this way, it's not only the first step that costs anything. To lend without hoping for anything appears difficult to nature. One would prefer to give, for a thing given no longer belongs to one. Ah, how contrary are the teachings of Jesus to the feelings of nature. Without the help of his grace, it would be impossible not only to put them into practice, but to even understand them. She is so right there. I mean, it is so hard giving without expecting in return, but it is a game changer. I can't tell you how many times in my life that I've had an expectation of someone else, and when I didn't get what I wanted, I was upset, but then it was just like, did I give for myself? Was it like a selfish giving? And she is spot on there. So I hope that you've enjoyed the quotes that she said and all the things that you can incorporate into your own life. She was a saint at 24, a doctor of the church, and you can see why. So I would encourage you to look more into her. She wrote an amazing autobiography, Story of a Soul, which is where all these quotes came from. Check it out. She is phenomenal and will help you grow in holiness. I hope you have a blessed day, and God love you.